Job interview questions with best answers. Are you ready to ace your upcoming job interview? It's always important to be prepared to respond effectively to the questions that employers typically ask. Since these questions are so common, hiring managers will expect you to be able to answer them smoothly and without hesitation. You don't need to memorize your answers, but you should think about what you're going to say so you're not put on the spot. Your responses will be stronger if you prepare in advance, know what to expect during the interview, and you have a sense of what you want to focus on. Tell me about yourself. The interviewer wants you to know why you're an excellent fit for the job. Try to answer the questions about yourself without giving too much or too little. Personal information. You can start by sharing some of your personal interests and experiences that you don't relate directly to your work, such as favorite hobby or a brief account of where you grew up, your education, and what motivates you. You can even share some of the fun facts and showcase your personality. As an ER nurse, I found that the best way for me to distress when I'm not working is to relax outdoors, rain or shine. I've always been an avid hiker, nature photographer, and trout fisher, and one of my favorite things to do is to volunteer with the U.S. Forest Service and with local salmon habitat restoration groups. I also lead group hikes on some of Mount Baker. More challenging trials. This is where the skills I developed during my initial training as a military nurse sometimes come in handy. My current personal goal is to climb Mount Rainier next summer. Being outdoors never fails to renew my spirit so that I'm able to be the best ER nurse I can be. Why should we hire you? What do you want to know? Are you the best candidate for the job? The hiring manager wants to know whether you have all the required qualifications. Be prepared to explain why you're the applicant who should be hired. Make your response a confident, concise, focused sales pitch that explains what you have to offer and why you should get the job. You should hire me because my experience is almost perfectly aligned with the requirements you asked for in your job listing. I have 7 years progressive experience in the hospitality industry, advancing from my initial role as a front desk associate with Excalibur Resort and Spa to my current position. There is a concierge. I'm well versed in providing world-class customer service to an upscale clientele, and I pride myself on my ability to quickly resolve problems so that our guests enjoy their time with us. What is your greatest strength? What do you want to know? This is one of the questions that employers almost always ask to determine how well you are qualified for the position. When you are asked about your greatest strength, it's important to discuss the attributes that qualify you for the specific job and that will set you apart from other candidates. As a cybersecurity specialist, my greatest strength is my intellectual curiosity. I enjoy researching the latest technology trends so that our critical information technology system remains uncompromised. Not only do this by reading the latest issue of cybersecurity journals. I also convinced my employer to fund my participation in quarterly information technology conferences. This has allowed me to build a network of peer resources, many of whom are leaders in field that I can do call upon the strategies when a new threats arise to our systems. What is your greatest weakness? What do you want to know? Another typical question interviewers will ask is about your weaknesses. Do your best to frame your answers around positive aspects of your skills and the abilities as employee, turning seeming weaknesses into strengths. You can also share examples of skills you have improved, providing specific instances of how you have recognized a weakness and taken steps to correct it. My greatest weakness used to be procrastination. Friends who knew my work style would tease me, saying, "Panic participates performance." In college, I was the person who pulled all nighters to finish their essay right before deadline. This isn't irresponsible as it sounds. From the moment I'm assigned a project, I'm thinking about it. Most of my first and second drops gets composed mentally, so it's only a matter of writing down the final draft. And since I have an excellent command of grammar, I don't have to spend much time proofreading or revising. However, after I landed my first job as a content writer, it became clear that while this process worked for me, I've never missed a deadline. It made my editor extremely nervous, and so I have learned to set early deadlines for myself, at least 24 hours before the actual deadline, so that my projects now always arrive with plenty of my time to spare. Why do you want to leave your current job? What do you want to know? The interviewer wants to know why you want to work for the company. When asked about why you are moving on from your current position, stick with the facts, be direct and focus your answers on the future, especially if your departure wasn't under the best circumstances. I was very fortunate to be hired by ABC Company right out of college. They taught me a lot about digital marketing, and it's been stimulating to work as a contributor to their creative teams. However, I'm ready for the next step. I've always been a leader. I was captain of the crew team in college, a student body vice president, and I've served as team lead for most of our projects in 2018. I think I'm ready to move into management, but ABC Company already has very talented managers in place, and they won't be leaving such a great employer anytime soon. I've completed supplemental management training courses during my time there, and I know I can hit the ground running as your next digital marketing manager. What are your salary expectations? What do you want to know? The hiring manager wants to know what you expect to earn. It seems like a simple question, but the answer can knock you out of competition for the job if you overprice yourself. If you underprice yourself, you may get shortchanged with a lower offer. Reliable salary calculators, like the one used by Glassdoor.com, says that experienced sous chef here in Portland average around $50,964 a year, 5% below the national average. I brought home around $49,700 last year. While I would definitely welcome a salary over $50,000, particularly given the cost of living here, I'm open to negotiations if a lower salary was accompanied by a greater flexibility in scheduling and additional vacation time. Why do you want this job? What do you want to know? The question gives you an opportunity to show the interviewer what you know about the job and the company. So take time beforehand to thoroughly research the company, its products, services, culture, and mission. Be specific about what you makes a good fit for this role and mention aspects of the company and position that appeal to you most? Construction design is in my blood. Both my dad and my granddad were home builders who owned their own construction firm. From the time I entered college, I knew that I wanted my architecture career to be focused on sustainable green design practices, so I earned my certification as a LEED accredited professional. Greenways Construction is the most respected sustainable design firm in Texas. I've been following reports of your LEED certified projects in Journal of Green Engineering, and I wrote my capstone project on the energy modeling you pioneered for the ACME Business Park and ABC Tech campus. Working here really would be my dream job, since your mission aligns perfectly with my goals as a sustainability specialist. How do you handle stress and pressure? What do you want to know? What do you do when things don't go smoothly at work? How do you deal with difficult situations? The employer wants to know how you handle workplace stress. Avoid claiming that you never rarely experience stress. Rather, formulate your answer in a way that acknowledges workplace stress and explain how you've overcome it or even it used your advantage. I'm not someone who is energized or thrives in stressful environment. My first step in managing stress is to try to circumvent it by keeping my work processes by very organized and my attitude professional. When customers or associates come to me with issues, I try to look at things from their perspective and initiate a collaborative problem solving approach to keep the situation from escalating. I find that maintaining an efficient, congenial office with open lines of communication automatically reduces a lot of workplace stress. Of course, sometimes unanticipated stressors will arise. When this happens, I just take a deep breath, remembering that the person I'm dealing with is frustrated with a situation, not with me. I then actively listen to their concerns and make a plan to resolve the issue as quickly as possible. Describe a difficult work situation or project and how you overcome it. What they want to know. The interviewer wants to know how you respond when faced with a difficult decision. As with the question about stress, be prepared to share an example of what you did in top situation. It's important to share details to make the story believable and engaging. I think the most difficult situation I face as a production manager is when I have to lay off staff, either because they aren't doing their job properly or even worse, because sales are down. When I can, I try to work with underperforming personnel to see if we can improve their efficiency. If not, then I hand them their pink slip and give them straightforward reasons for why they are being laid off. No one wants to be fired without an explanation. When this happens, I keep my tone polite and avoid using too many you statements. I absolutely do not want to cast shame on them. What are your goals for the future? What do you want to know? This question is designed to find out if you're going to stick around or move on as soon as you find a better opportunity. Keep your answer focused on the job and the company and reiterate the interviewer that the position aligns with your long-term goals. I'm someone who likes a stability. My goal is to find a job that I can hold long term with a local company. Becoming a valid employee as I gradually advance the position of increasing authority and responsibility. I'm extremely interested in the teller job here in the First Financial Credit Union because of your internal training program. My long term goal is to eventually become a branch manager after I've proven my competencies in a customer service and team leadership.